Yeah, okay. It says, what methods do you use to direct messages to different audiences? Typically, we always, like, if you want to keep like a professional, keep things at a professional, consistent, let me reword that. In order to really approach your audience, you want to keep your methods really consistent and professional for the most part. I mean, granted, depending on your audience, there may be other ways to really attract them, to really cater to what they want and what they want to see. So I think your best bet is to really think about what your audience wants. Think about what your audience wants to see, and depending on what kind of message you're trying to get across to them, what kind of information you're trying to get across to them, you would want to really cater to what they want. Like whether it's, I think, let's take, let's see, like some big service event, for example. To like general circle payers, you would want to essentially, really get that information across to them in like, really flashy ways in some in some situations, but not so much in other ways. To Kiwanians, you just want to get the basic bulk of that across. And to like, I guess, key clubbers, you would want to just, like and regardless of how you want to publicize or try to get that method across to everyone, you just need to remember that we need to get that basic information across first, and be able to go about it from there. And then how you like really present that information is really up to you and your audience and what they want to see. But you just have to remember that. Hold on. Yeah, you just have to remember to keep in mind your audience and just be able to maintain that professionalism.
Hi guys, my name is Adrian Francisco. I'm the divisional liaison for Magic Kingdom, Central Coast, and Paradise Division. So to answer the question of what methods do you use to direct messages to different audiences, to add on to what Jennifer said, it definitely is depending on what audience you are addressing. So again, like what she said, it depends what you want to cater to. So say, for example, your audience expects you to be more professional with your speech, or with your, if your audience is expecting you to be more professional with the issue that is talking about, or more fun and lively. So say, for example, if you're spirit social chair of your home club, you expect that person to be more spirited, more outgoing, especially when promoting a specific event or any social that's coming up. As for if you are to, say for example, working with your Kiwanis club, if you're a Kiwanis family chair, or if you're anyone working with the Kiwanis family, say for example you guys are asking for subsidizing your decon costs or your FTC costs. Say for example you're trying to subsidize your FTC costs or your decon costs, you want to address your Kiwanis with a more professional manner, especially some Kiwanis clubs are also, not to say old, but more of aged. So you would probably want to prevent using online stuff such as emails or etc. or special programs. Try printing out a actual document to present to them, and make sure you guys plan everything well beforehand.
Yep, well said, well said. Let me also make a note also that this might be a short webinar just because we don't have very many questions. But like I said, whoever's listening in right now, feel free to ask us just about anything and everything, because we're here to really answer your questions, whether it's about the district, about what we do on board, about our positions, about general PR stuff, anything in that mix. Feel free to ask us, and we'll do our best to answer to the best of our ability. So pose questions as you will. So the next question, as you can see from the Google form, is what are the duties of the district publications editor and district technologies chair, posed by oh, UC Davis. Oh, the first guess from UC Berkeley, my bad. But, okay, so the duties of the district publications editor, I'll start off, is essentially publish the district newsletter, the Sunburst, up to like 3 or 4 issues, depending on how much time you have, but it's usually about 4 issues. Right now I've only released 2 because I've been kind of, I'm like slightly behind on my 3rd issue just because I've been busy with other stuff. But, let's see. But yeah, essentially aside from the Sunburst, I also send out the member bi-monthly mailing list. It is basically a general email digest of things that are going on in the district and whatnot. And that I send that every other month, just about the general gist of what's going on in the district, service spotlight, and just all that good stuff. Both the district publications editor and the district tech chair also run the district PR committee, like we are doing here right now. We really just kind of work on maintaining relations among clubs and trying to really trying to get information out to people, and doing what we can to really guide and help other clubs to really just help them out in a general sense and going from there. But it's not bad otherwise. We also, as general chairs, we also take part in general duties as a district board member and everything like that. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it for the most part. But yeah, Sean, you can probably answer whatever for the district tech chair.
Okay, so my position is technology chair. The main part of my position is managing the website, cnhcircuitcare.com. The other part is managing our new district resource database, the JCloud. And for this year, we started doing webinars. So this is also my job to supervise all webinars, which means recording them and teach all the hosts to how to use the program to host these webinars. Apart from that, being technology chair, you're expected to have a good understanding of technology in general. So you're going to get a lot of questions regarding what programs people should use and what kind of hardware they should buy, general questions like that. But other than that, what I mainly do is just update the website and supervise these webinars.
Yay, sounds good. Okay, next question. Like I said, this Q&A would not be possible without questions, so feel free to ask any questions. Or just submit them to the Google Docs you'll work too. I'll probably refresh the spreadsheet if anything. But the next question, is it possible to have district board meetings streamed live? I know that some CGI meetings do it. If so, that would be great. Okay. Typically, they're not streamed live at all, actually, based on the ones that I've attended. And I've attended most meetings except like one because I was abroad. But they are not streamed live, and you would have to be there in order to, see how the meeting goes on and everything and all that good stuff. After each meeting, though, the minutes are released to the public for you guys to read. But if you want to actually go, if you want to actually tune in on the actual meeting itself, you would need to actually go to the meeting and actually see everything that happens, because it's not streamed live at all. And we actually aren't allowed to have our laptops anywhere at the meeting either, so we can't really do anything of that sort. Okay. Okay.
There is a possibility of streaming the board meetings, but the thing is we shouldn't because some of the things discussed aren't ready to be released to the entire district. So we have to wait on those. But as Jennifer said, if you want to know what's going on with the district board meetings, just wait for the minutes to be released by the district secretary, David Demoko.
Okay, lovely. We also have a question in our little question box over here. Let me try to read it. Okay. Asked by April Rios. What exactly is your goal as district publications editor? Would one of your goals be recruiting members from the Kiwanis family, say Key Windsor Key Club? That was not actually one of my goals for this term, because I was really focusing more so on working on the district PR committee and working on bettering the district publications editor position. But one of the goals going into at the beginning of my term was, like I said, to really work on the visibility and transparency of the district PR committee, as well as releasing a consistent number of sunbursts and everything, and make my position more visible and really maintain that sense of professionalism in the position, and make have people, I guess, take the position a little bit more seriously and just not just be a position just on the side, just making newsletters or pamphlets or anything of that sort. So, but yeah, I think that if the next person, whoever they should be appointed as the next district publications editor, I think it would be a great idea to really work on recruiting members from the Kiwanis family and everything like that. But I feel like personally that might be a position, that might be a goal best suited for the district Kiwanis family chair, because I think that position deals a lot with working with members of the Kiwanis family, and it just really better applies to that position more so than the publications editor, unless you have some sort of spin on it, or better related to that sort of realm, as opposed to Kiwanis family, which is strictly on the Kiwanis family itself. Okay, next question on the Google form. How do you suggest one begins to develop their graphic design skills? Are there any suggested programmers or programs for beginners? Trung, you want to take that?
Sure. The main, I guess, the most popular program for graphics design is probably Photoshop. It's quite expensive, but you can get your hand on it. I recommend just playing around with it, because the best way to learn Photoshop is by just playing around with it. Other things you could do is look up tutorials on YouTube and on Google. And the great thing about it is that usually the tutorials will have the Photoshop files at the end of the tutorial, so you could download it and play with it yourself. Other than that, just look through tutorials and play with it, and that's how you develop your skills as a graphics designer.
To possibly add on to that, what you can possibly do is, for me, when I started off my newsletters, I tended to use Microsoft Word, and it didn't really work well for me, but I learned to take up Photoshop and then occasionally work and mess around with it, as Trung said, and then basically I learned to improve as I went. So basically what I recommend you should do is that you have to, what I recommend that you should do is that you work with a program that works best for you. Definitely something that works out, and if you could draw out your ideas before you possibly write it down, outline your newsletters or whatever you want to work with. Say for example it is a flyer, or if it's a newsletter, just make sure you get all the criteria down.
It looks like Whitney also has a suggestion, or no, an answer to that. To help with the Photoshop thing, there was a site giving a CS2 for free. It's oldies, but it's basically the same. I have used CS6, and they're basically the same. Is that a legit site, though? That's the only thing I'm worried about, because sometimes like sites would give out a CS2 thing for free, but it might end up being like a scam of some sort. But that's just me. But I have used CS2 before. It's like that. It's the one version that I stick really close to. CS2 and CS3 are the original, original versions I used to use a lot. So those are good. To also add on to this question, although I don't use Photoshop, ironically, strangely enough, as a publication editor, I use InDesign, and I feel like that personally is really good when it comes to graphic design as well, so to an extent, in a sense that it's a lot more structured, although you can't really do a lot with it. It's just really good for formatting and all that good stuff. Illustrator is also a really good, Adobe Illustrator is also a really good place to start too. It's just a lot of teaching yourself how to work with all these different programs and everything. It does take time, but it's worth it in the long run. Your skills build up over time, so it's how should I put it? Just a really good way to build up your skills over time, and all that good stuff. Okay, next question. How do you go about setting up a website for the first time? Trung, I think that's for you.
Okay. There's two ways you can do it. First, you have to think about your approach. Do you want to build a website from scratch, or do you want to just set one up from a template? There's two websites that I could think of off the top of my head that will help you do that. One is called W3 Schools, and I'll post it in the chat box. It's basically a website that teach you HTML, which is hypertext markup language, is the code that builds website, and it just gives you like step-by-step tutorial on how you could start coding your website. Another is called webs.com. It's a website where you could basically create a website based off templates, so you don't have to do any coding. You just it's like making a MySpace, if you ever had one. You just put in your information, put in articles and all that, and it'll get hosted to the internet. The nice thing about building your own website is that you have more freedom to customize it and do whatever you want with it. And the limitations for creating a website through a template is that you're limited with your creativity, and sometimes the host will put ads on your website in order to make the cost of hosting the website free. So right now I'll just post a link on the chat box for you guys to access it.
Sean, you just mentioned MySpace. Sorry, I had to make that note. I was like, man, MySpace is so like back in the day.
Yes.
Goodness. Okay. I think I also missed a question from Whitney in the questions box. She had mentioned or asked, would you happen to know what the FTC or MD&E chair does? FTC, the current FTC chair is Ruben Ruiz. If you went to FTC earlier this year, you knew that you know, he has his own committee, and he was basically the leader of fall training conference itself. But from the beginning of the term to the weekend of FTC, he would need to, you know, compile his own committee and really assign, like, give different assignments to each of his committee members to really maintain, to really follow it and set deadlines and everything to really have, you know, FTC rolling basically, because it's a big event. So with all the help that he has, he needs to really, really, what's the word? I totally lost my train of thought. But basically, FTC chair overlooks his committee and all the responsibilities and tasks that they need to do and accomplish before that big weekend comes. So it may vary from, like, different people on his committee may be, like, you know, in charge of programs, souvenirs, like decorations, entertainment, and all that good stuff. There's a lot that really goes into it, but basically the FTC chair overlooks all those, all his entire committee, and really makes sure that his committee is really on it when it comes to, like, meeting deadlines and fulfilling all of their responsibilities that they need to do in order to have that successful weekend. As for MD&E chair, Lauren Kim is the current MD&E chair this year, and basically they are in charge of, like, I can't give up all the, like, you know, the full description of each because I can't remember exactly. But basically, they need to, they're in charge of the president's retreat, I think, like, sort of at the beginning of the term, which is, it takes place over the summer, but they are also in charge of any of the, like, the membership recognition program. So this year was recently revamped, but in a nutshell, they need to really man about, they need to really man the whole MRP thing and really get that word out there and really work on maintaining that member retention program as well, like, you know, keeping members in, recruiting members, and all that good stuff. And you're really setting that information out to the general district to work on, you know, helping clubs maintain their members and all that. But yeah, I think, let me see, whoever else has on our committee has anything else to add to that, feel free to do so. Okay, we'll go on to the next question. As on the Google form, what would a district PR chair generally look for in a person applying for the committee? For this term, both Chung and I guess, we were really looking for people who had, like, you know, a really open mind, who are outgoing, who are extroverted in the sense that they would be able to work together on a committee and, you know, for whatever, like usually when people apply to our committee, I guess, like we had a specific, like sort of like different roles that people can apply under. For this year, we had a divisional liaison where they would be in charge of like specific divisions and really get information from this on the district level out to a divisional level and so forth to the club level. Excuse me. We also had what else is there? We also had a multimedia chair, graphics chair. What else was there? Publications assistant. So she would be the person would be my assistant, and I'm pretty sure that was it. Yeah, that was pretty much it. So we for our committee this year, we only had 6 in total, along with me and Trung. So it's a small committee, but you know we all have our basic tasks and everything. But in terms of people who applied, we were looking for people who were well qualified and well experienced, and who basically had a room to grow in whatever they wanted to pursue in terms of like PR and everything. So over the course of this term, we've been working on, you know, really bettering their own resume in terms of publicizing and contributing to the committee and really just working together as a team and being really open to new ideas and coming up with new ideas and being able to take that in and really put it into action as much as we can anyway. So, yep, exactly what Adrian said. Yeah, he is one of our divisional liaisons, but yeah, definitely consider, whether it's at the PR committee or any other committee, definitely consider applying, because last year I was actually on the I was on the decon committee, and it was just a lot of fun. So, you know, it doesn't hurt to apply, but it's good. A lot of fun. Okay, let's see what other questions are on here. I think I missed
Actually,
one
to add on
earlier.
to what Jennifer said, we also look for how busy the person is. So we'll ask what club position they're involved in and if they're involved in any clubs. Also, for our committee specifically, we ask for them to show their experience. So if like they're applying for graphic design, we actually ask them to show some of their past works, or if they apply for multimedia, we ask them to show us some YouTube videos of something they made, and from there we'll make a decision.
Yeah. Yeah, basically what Sean said. I totally missed those points. Yeah, so depending on what your position you're applying for, we do ask for previous work, like either graphics or videos and all that stuff. But yeah, I think I missed a question from April earlier. What does the district accomplish by setting up the newsletters? Every time I do put out a newsletter, it's usually online, but in terms of publishing or putting the newsletter out there, it's just a really general way for other Kiwanis family members and the rest of the district to see what other clubs and divisions and the district board, I guess, is doing. It's a really good way to see what people are doing, and I guess just to keep up to date as to what's going on and what will be going on in a way, like later on in the district, like in terms of upcoming events and all that good stuff. So yeah, it's just, you know, like, granted, I have not gotten around to really like physically sending out the newsletters, just because personally I feel like going green is best and just keeping everything digital. So, but you know, it's just general way to really keep people updated as to what is going on and what other schools are doing in terms of service events, socials, and all that good stuff. And hopefully people will get, like, some sort of inspiration from all these other events, types of events that are going on across the district. But it's really fun otherwise. Okay. Let's see. Another question from Whitney. How would one go about applying for district positions, and what are the general requirements for applying? Would one need to already be a part of a committee to apply? Chung, do you want to answer this first?
Sure. After decon, the governor gets elected, and from there, I think a month or a few weeks later, he appointed his chairs, and then after that, the chairs appoint their committee. So it's around, I think, April or after March that when the committee application gets sent out. But in order to apply, just, I guess, talk to the committee chairs, ask for their application. You don't have to be on a committee already to apply. You could be, well, you just be a general member to apply as long as you're a Circle K. A few tips: make sure you put a lot of effort into your application, because if you don't, you might not get a chance to go through the interview process. And once you do get to the interview process, make sure you carry yourself formally and address the chairs with respect, or else they'll just not consider you for the position.
Yeah, what Chung said. But to add on to what Chung had said, usually each position has their own set of requirements that you should, what's it called, meet, I guess. Yeah, there are a set of requirements for you to meet. Sorry, the drugs are totally getting to my head right now. Sorry. But, yeah, each position has their own set of requirements for you to meet. I think as for both me and Chung, we don't have, a set of a district publications committee or district tech committee. We both work together to have the PR committee just because together as a unit we are really we are in charge of information. And of course, with that information, it is our duty, our responsibility to really get that information from the district level out to the divisional and club levels. Give me a second. But yeah, so it really depends. No, you do not need to be on a district committee to apply. It would be really helpful because you get to already have that sort of experience on a district level and everything. But it doesn't matter. It does matter, but if you're not, it won't hurt you too much. Especially if you have like other experience in other fields, like whether you're been really active in your club, or really active on like a divisional level, and really active with social service and all those events, So that really helps. Let's see. Okay, going on to the next question. How do you go about applying to any district committee? I will have my fellow district committee members answer this question if they are available right now to answer the question. Adrian or Kat, aka Alan.
Okay, so applying for district committees. You're able to apply as to many district committees as you want. Just keep in mind that they will be checking us to see how many committees you are applying for. So make sure that you minimize your choices so they know that you're committed to the position that you want in that specific committee. As for applying to district committees, what generally happens is you have to submit your application at a certain deadline that they post up on the CNH website. And basically from there, you'll be later contacted by the district chair, who is chosen by the district governor, and you'll get an email asking to submit your available times for on the phone interview. During this interview, it could range from anywhere to 15 to 25 minutes, depending on how it goes and how long you decide to answer your questions. And personally for me, it was quite nerve-wracking, especially on the district committees, or when on the phone, especially because like I would find myself pacing around on the phone call. But definitely, if you can, some tips that I recommend when you're applying for your district committee, if you can, either walk around to get some thoughts flowing or get a piece of paper so you can jot down some ideas while you go down. And make sure before you go into this district committee interview that you have all your ideas ready so that you didn't have all your ideas ready that you already had not put on your application that you submitted to the district chair. That way, you also have ways to more flesh out the idea that you had to express to the committee that you're applying for. Besides that, that's what I recommend, and go about it.
Hi, this is Kat. So when I started thinking about applying for district committees, I really wanted to make sure I was going to do something that I clearly enjoyed. So at STC North, there was a panel of committee members who basically answered all our questions regarding the committees they were in, what they did, the jobs that they offered, and then I narrowed it down to 2 committees that I really wanted to apply for because they were focused on things that I was really interested in, which was at the time specifically graphic. And then, like Adrian mentioned, there's an application process and there's an interview. Definitely take these processes seriously because even though an interview or a paper may not be the best representation of you, it is a representation that the committee chairs get of you. So yeah, definitely take it seriously, and don't do a committee if you feel like you're obligated to. Just do it if you want to, because you'll enjoy it a lot more. I know I have. So yeah, so basically just research the committees before you go applying, and then after that, just go for it.
To answer one of the questions, what are some of the other committees? I think we have 8 committees in total. There's finance and fundraising, district convention, fall training conference, public relations, awards and service, and MD&E, and KFAM.
Yay! And also to add on to that, district committee applications are usually released shortly after the district committee chairs are, appointed. So it's it's a little after. It's after decon, after the district committee chairs are appointed, and after they have their applications sent out. So usually, I think this year it would probably be out in let me think about this. Sometime in April, I want to say. April might be your best bet to get these, get the committee applications and all that good stuff. So be on the lookout for that. If you are attending decon, I would suggest either attending the workshops or talking with committee heads themselves. Basically whoever is interested in you guys asking questions right now, that's being proactive as it is. So props to you for that. We still have another 8 minutes, so feel free to ask us more questions, and we will do the best of our ability to answer them. With us being here.
For those that are interested in applying for district chairs, I do know that there is a district board meeting this Sunday at Rancho Cucamonga at 9 a.m. So please be there sharp and dress sharp. Haha.
Oh yeah, and in addition, FTC committee is holding another webinar about how to run a committee. So if you are interested in learning how to run a committee or become a district chair, this is probably a good opportunity for you guys to take up. So hopefully we'll see you there soon.
Okay, we got another question. How do you go about building better relations with your host Kiwanis Club members? Let's see. I will try to answer that to the best of my ability. Excuse me. But I think a really good way to build better relations is to really keep in constant communication with them and really keep them up to date as to what's going on in your club, what's going on on your board, and you know, hold on, give me a second. Yeah, what's going on your board, and just like having that sort of connection between you two and maintain that strong sense of connection like after a while. And like it would also really help if you go out to their club meetings as well, because it's just a really good way to really bond with them, to really get to know them, and yeah, just really make that effort to talk to them, to go out to their events, and just be all around friendly with them, because they're people too. So yeah. I think other people also want to answer, so by all means answer.
Okay. Also, well, Jen basically covered the gist of it. Like, but you can also do Kiwanis takeover, where you basically just come and take over their meeting. And something that Berkeley does is we auction off like services, like community services. So like we'll clean their kitchen for them, or we'll do like gardening for them. And it's just like a really fun way to like bond with your Kiwanians. And like get to know them a little better, and at the same time, like you're raising money for your club, so it's like a win-win situation. And then with the rest of your GFAM, like you can just support them in any way possible. Like for us, the Key Club LTG actually asked our Circle K to help him ask out his current girlfriend, and what we did is like we sang a song to her for him. So like even things that are like not Key Club or Circle K related can really strengthen the bond. But it's just like if you want to make a friend, you make a friend. It doesn't have to be through a professional ground. So yeah, go about it like you would in like any social situation, or almost any social situation. There are some restrictions, but yeah, you guys know what I mean.
To add on to what both Kat and Jenlai said, basically, definitely what she said was to try to get to know them on a more social level. So basically, after your Kiwanis meeting that you attend, get to know them, talk to them, ask them to go out to lunch or something. It's definitely one of those, not cliche, what's the word for it? More so, it's more of trying to make friends with your Kiwanis advisor. And don't limit yourself to just your Kiwanis, or just your Kiwanis, host Kiwanis club. Attend other Kiwanis clubs in the division, or even attend other, well, more so, attend Kiwanis events hosted together with your Kiwanis club. So say, for example, you guys have a key to college. Plan that with your Kiwanis club to get people from the Kiwanis club to sponsor workshops, be chaperones for the hosted colleges or high schools such as Key Wins or Key Clubs that are planning to attend. It's definitely a good way to strengthen your bond as a whole. You shouldn't solely focus on the Kiwanis family, but definitely, or solely on the Kiwanis club, but the Kiwanis family as a whole. And definitely, if you guys are interested in those kind of things, speak with Andrew Tom, or District K-Fam chair, or even your club's Kiwanis chair about that.
Okay. If you guys have any additional questions, feel free to ask us later, like in the Google Doc, if anything, or sorry, but yeah, just if you guys have any more questions, just let us know by any means. Like that Google form on the event page will always be there, and we will do our best to answer it. and all that good stuff. Hold on, give me a second. Yeah, so thank you again for attending our webinar. I know there wasn't, too much questions to really address and everything, but for everyone who did ask questions, thank you. I hope our answers were sufficient enough for you and everything. Do attend the next webinar, which is, let me see what it is.
It's on the 29th.
The next webinar is coming up. Yes, what Trunk said.
Okay, I got this. Okay, so our next webinar is on the 29th at 8 p.m. It's called How to MRP. Basically learn how to fill out the MRP form, hosted by the District MD&E Committee. And after that, on February 8th is our webinar about leading a committee and working as a team, hosted by Kat Ho from the FTC committee and from our committee as well.
But yes, thank you again for attending, and I hope to see you guys at the next webinar, as Trunk said. Have a good night.